When the wedding invitation came in the mail, I thought it was a mistake. I mean, why would my husband be getting married? To someone else? Yeah. Let that one sink in. I'm Callie, 39, wedding planner by trade, which is a cruel joke now, considering what happened. Marcus and I had been married for 6 years. We weren't the hold hands at brunch couple anymore, but we were solid, or so I thought. He worked in real estate, always on the move, business trips, networking mixers, those late-night texts. Don't wait up, babe. I never questioned them. Why would I? Until that morning. It was a Tuesday. I remember because Tuesdays are flower inventory days, and I was already cursing over a shipment of wilted peonies when I saw the envelope on the counter. Cream cardstock, gold foil lettering. Fancy as hell. I opened it, half expecting it to be another client invite. But when I read the names, my stomach dropped. You are cordially invited to the wedding of Marcus James Monroe and Alyssa Marie Hart. I read it again. Marcus, James, Monroe, my husband. At first I thought, maybe it's a coincidence. Another Marcus Monroe, maybe some distant cousin. But then I saw the venue, Lakewood Estate. That's where we had our 3rd anniversary dinner. The menu still hangs on our fridge. I sat down, just sat, like my brain needed gravity to process the insanity. And then it hit me. This wasn't a mistake. This was a wedding. Planned, printed, postmarked, to someone who wasn't me. I waited for Marcus to get home, pacing the kitchen like a caged animal. When he walked through the door, he tossed his keys on the table like it was just another Tuesday. Hey, babe, you eat yet? My voice cracked before I could stop it. Why is there a wedding invitation in the mail, addressed to you? And someone named Alyssa? He froze, dead in his tracks. What? Don't what me, Marcus? You're getting married? While you're still married to me? He looked me dead in the eye. Callie, it's not what you think, I laughed. I couldn't help it. It was the kind of laugh that says I might throw this frying pan at your head. You're right. I think my husband is engaged to another woman, and I'm still folding your damn laundry. He tried to speak again, but I didn't want excuses. I wanted truth, so I grabbed my phone, snapped a photo of the invitation. You know what? I'll bring it to the wedding myself, just to make sure she knows. He blanched. Callie, don't do anything crazy. Now, listen, I ain't saying I'm the queen of self-control, but apparently 96% of people who hear stories like this don't hit subscribe. That's like showing up to a baby shower, eating half the cupcakes, and then leaving without even signing the guest book. Don't be that person. Hit subscribe. It keeps the drama piping hot and the petty revenge flowing. Back to the kitchen standoff. You invited me, Marcus. I'm just RSVPing. I didn't cry that night. I stared at the ceiling until 3 a.m., playing every memory like a movie in reverse. The anniversary dinners. The I love you texts. The weekends he was at a conference. The way he used to call me his rock. Was I ever his anything? I wasn't sure what I was walking into, but one thing was certain. I wasn't just going to watch him marry another woman. I was going to crash that wedding, and I was bringing hell with me. I didn't wear black to mourn. I wore it because funerals and weddings both deserve proper attire. And something was about to die that day. His double life. It was the kind of humid Georgia afternoon where the air clung to your skin like a lie you can't shake. I pulled up to Lakewood Estate, the same venue Marcus and I had toasted champagne under twinkling string lights just 3 years ago. Only now, I wasn't here to toast anything. I walked through the doors like a ghost. No RSVP. No +1. Just me. And the truth. The guests were already seated. White folding chairs, soft piano music, everything Pinterest perfect. At the altar stood Marcus, hair slicked, smile locked in place. That same smug expression he wore when he got away with things. Then she walked in. Alyssa Hart. Lace gown. Hair curled into perfect spirals. She looked like the dream that I was about to wake her from. I slipped in quietly, standing off to the side, clutching that invitation in my hand like a loaded weapon. Then came the words, "If anyone has just cause why these two should not be joined in holy matrimony." And baby, that was my cue. I stepped into the aisle, slow and steady. 20 pairs of eyes turned, then 30, then all of them. Marcus's face dropped like I had just walked in with a SWAT team. "Yeah, I've got a reason," I said, loud, clear, calm like a bomb. "He's already married, to me." Gasps. One lady dropped her champagne. A man whispered, "What the hell is going on?" And Alyssa, she just blinked, like her bridal lashes were malfunctioning. I'm sorry. What did you just say?" she stammered. I pulled out my phone, opened the photo gallery, and held it up. "That's our wedding, 6 years ago. That's us at the courthouse. That's our anniversary dinner, last month. That man, your groom, still has a toothbrush in my bathroom." Marcus stepped forward, eyes wide, voice low. "Callie, not here." "Oh, here is perfect," I snapped. "You picked this venue for our anniversary. Thought I wouldn't notice?" Alyssa turned to Marcus, her voice shaky. "Is this true?" "Marcus, tell me this isn't real." "It's complicated," he muttered. "Complicated?" I barked out a laugh. "No, baby girl. Taxes are complicated. This is bigamy." You could feel the shift in the room, the murmur of guests, the silence from the altar. And Marcus? He was sweating through his overpriced tux. Alyssa looked at me again, eyes wide with disbelief. "Why didn't you tell me sooner?" "Because I didn't know either," I said, voice cracking for the first time. "I got your invitation in the mail. That's how I found out." She looked down at her gown, like it betrayed her. "I can't do this," she whispered. Then louder, "I need to get out of here." She turned, walked back down the aisle she came in on. Guests parted like the Red Sea. Marcus stood there, alone, looking like the groom of an apocalypse. And me? I stood there, in the silence, surrounded by flowers I didn't arrange, music I didn't request, and a crowd I didn't know. But in that moment, I'd never felt more seen. She wore a $4,000 wedding gown, but when the truth hit, she looked like a girl who'd just been handed a loaded grenade, and I was the one who pulled the pin. The reception room had turned into a holding zone for heartbreak. Alyssa was in the bridal suite, makeup smeared, bouquet abandoned. I found her sitting on a velvet bench, staring at the ring she never even got to wear. I walked in slowly. Didn't know if she'd scream or slap me or beg me to lie. She just looked up and said, "How long have you been married to him?" I sat across from her, my heels digging into that plush white carpet like I needed to anchor myself. 6 years. We met when I planned a wedding at one of his listings. He was charming, smooth, said all the right things. Alyssa blinked. "That's exactly how he found me. Came into my shop to look at a custom suit. Said he was tired of the generic rental look. I thought he was different." She rubbed her temples like she was trying to scrub the memory off her face. "He told me he was divorced." I nodded. "He told me he had a rough split, that his ex-wife cheated. Ironic, huh? The silence between us wasn't awkward. It was heavy. Bonding. 2 women, 1 man, and 1,000 lies in between. "Did you ever notice anything?" she asked. "Anything weird?" I thought back. Too many signs I had ignored. He'd leave for weekend business trips without taking his laptop. Said he was closing deals in person. Once he came back with a tan line on his ring finger, but had taken off the ring for work. I believed it. She snorted. "I found receipts once. A dinner for 2 in Charleston. He said it was a client dinner. I asked who. He gave me some name I couldn't find on LinkedIn." Alyssa looked like she was unraveling in slow motion. Then she whispered something I'll never forget. Was I the other woman the whole time? And didn't know it? I wanted to hate her. I wanted to scream. But how could I? She was me. Just 6 years behind. "You didn't know. Neither did I. That's the game he plays." Her voice cracked. "I don't understand how someone can be this good at lying. I mean, he remembered my mom's birthday. He helped me fix my credit. He cried when I said I wanted kids. I shook my head. He's not a man. He's a mirror. He reflects what you want until he's taken what he needs. There was a knock at the door. Renee, my best friend, and conveniently the only person I trust with my soul and legal matters, peeked in. "Sorry to interrupt," she said, "but you both need to see this." She held out her phone. Marcus's real name is Marcus James Monroe, yes. But he's also registered as Mark J. Monroe on several business filings and one marriage license. Before Cali, in Ohio, filed under Mark J. Monroe and Diane Rivers. Alyssa's jaw dropped. "So, you're not the first?" "Apparently not," I said flatly. "Looks like I'm the second." She stood up, holding onto the edge of the vanity like her legs forgot how to work, and I would have been number 3. The room was quiet again. Only this time, the silence wasn't grief. It was rage. Quick pause, because I know some of y'all are already side-eyeing your partner's business trips. And hey, while you're investigating hotel receipts, you might as well click that subscribe button. Think of it like emotional hazard insurance. It doesn't stop the heartbreak, but it keeps the lights on over here while we spill the tea. All right, back to the mess. When one lie breaks, the rest comes spilling out like a dam giving way. And once it starts, there's no stopping the flood. We left the venue in silence. No cake, no first dance, no rice thrown in the air, unless you count the pit in my stomach. Alyssa rode with Renee and me back to my place. It was the first time I'd seen a bride still in her wedding dress, riding shotgun in a Honda Civic. Mascara running like war paint. She didn't say a word the whole ride, just clutched her clutch bag like it had answers. When we got home, Renee cracked open her laptop and went into full attorney mode. She's the kind of woman who smells red flags before they even wave. "Okay," Renee said, clicking through marriage records. "Marcus James Monroe, born 1982, filed for marriage in Ohio in 2010 to a Diane Rivers. No record of dissolution." Alyssa looked up. "So he never divorced her? Which means he wasn't just cheating," I said. "He was committing fraud, marriage fraud, financial fraud, possibly even identity theft depending on what names he used." Renee kept going, faster than Google, sharper than the FBI. "He has 4 LLCs, 1 under Cali's address, 2 under the Ohio address, 1 under a P.O. box in Savannah, and he's listed as a partner on a property flip business. That business uses a different woman's name as co-owner." Alyssa's hands were shaking. "Oh my God, is this like a thing he does? Just collects women like investment portfolios?" I stared at the screen, every word making me nauseous. "He marries them, builds trust, gets access to finances, then ghosts or cheats or ends it amicably. And by the time anyone figures it out, he's on to the next." Renee looked at both of us, deadly calm. "This isn't about love. It's about leverage." I sat back. Let the words sink in. My marriage? Not just a failure. It was a business transaction, and I was the only one who didn't know the terms. "He convinced me to put him on my credit card account," I muttered. "Said it'd help build our credit score." Alyssa nodded slowly. "He talked me into co-signing a lease for a beach house. He said it'd be our honeymoon getaway once we got married. But I've never even seen it." Renee shook her head. "He's not emotionally broken. He's strategically manipulative. This is a damn blueprint." It was after midnight when Alyssa finally broke the silence again. "I thought I was marrying a man who cried watching up. A man who called my dadser and offered to fix the sink on our first date." She paused, then looked at me. "How do you live with the fact that it was never real?" I swallowed hard. My throat burned. "You don't. You survive it. You rip the fantasy out of your heart, one memory at a time. Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned, unless she's got a best friend who passed the bar exam and smells blood in the water." By the next morning, Renee was in full war mode. I woke up to the smell of burnt coffee and the sound of keys flying across a laptop. "Morning," I muttered, walking into the kitchen, still in yesterday's dress shirt. "No time for good mornings," she said, eyes locked on the screen. "We're blowing this man's entire operation off the map." Alyssa was curled up on the couch, still in a bathrobe. She looked like she hadn't slept, but somehow more awake than I'd ever seen her. "I made a list," she said softly, holding up her phone. "Everything Marcus ever asked me to sign. Bank stuff, contracts, even a prenup. That now makes 0 sense." Renee's eyes lit up like she just hit gold in a minefield. "That prenup? Email it to me. And I need your lease agreements, any bank statements, and if you ever sent him money, Venmo, Zelle, whatever. We track every dime." She pulled out a whiteboard from her home office like we were about to play FBI agents in a Netflix docuseries. She wrote in thick red marker, victims, assets, aliases, timeline. And before anyone comes for me, yes, I know I sound like I'm pitching the next hit true crime podcast, but hey, 94% of y'all are lurking without subscribing. That's like binge-watching a Netflix series on your ex's password and still complaining when it buffers. So go on, subscribe. Keeps the revenge plot fully funded. Now, back to Renee going full attorney mode. "This isn't just revenge, girls. This is litigation." She pointed at me. "Callie, you're the legal wife. That means if you file first, you control the narrative. He's on your insurance, your tax returns, and your mortgage, right?" I nodded. "Good. That gives you leverage." She turned to Alyssa. "And you? You're the almost wife. You might be able to sue for emotional damages, fraud, breach of promise. Especially if you can prove financial harm." Alyssa raised an eyebrow. "Wait, breach of promise is a thing?" "In Georgia it is," Renee said, already pulling up statutes. "Welcome to the South, sweetheart." That day, we filed 3 things. 1. Divorce papers, served directly to his office. 2. A fraud complaint with the state attorney general. 3. A cease and desist to block him from touching any shared financials. Renee even drafted a press statement because she knew this story wasn't staying private. "Men like Marcus operate in the shadows," she said. "We're flipping on the floodlights, but here's the moment that gave me actual chills." Renee found a joint account Marcus had opened, with another woman's name. Different than me. Different than Alyssa. Her name was Holly Whitman, and she was listed as a co-owner of a small business in Savannah, Monroe Design and Developments. "Is that number 4? I whispered. Renee sat back, eyes narrowed. "It's either 4 or 5. We might be late to this game, but he's not ready for what's coming." And for the first time since this whole thing exploded, I smiled. Not because I was happy, but because I realized something. I wasn't just a victim. I was his last mistake. They say revenge is a dish best served cold, but Alyssa served hers on TikTok, with a side of receipts and a bridal gown still on her back. 2 days after the disaster at Lakewood Estate, I was scrolling through my phone, trying to numb my thoughts with dog videos and food hacks. When I saw it, Alyssa, on my For You page, live. She was still wearing the wedding dress, still had the smudged makeup, still had that haunted yet determined look in her eyes. The caption? "I almost married a married man. Story time." I tapped in. 13.2K viewers. 5 minutes later, 78K. By the end of the night, 1.2 million. Her voice trembled at first, but by the second sentence, she was steel. "So I was supposed to get married this past weekend. To the love of my life. Or so I thought." She held up our wedding photo. Marcus in a gray suit, me in a navy blue dress at our 5-year vow renewal. Turns out he already had a wife. She got my wedding invitation in the mail and came to the ceremony. The comments were flying. "Girl, this is a movie. Not the wife showing up. Name names. Drop his at." She didn't drop his handle. She dropped his resume. Marcus James Monroe. Savannah, Georgia. Real estate developer. Charming smile. Likes old school jazz. And apparently collects wives like Pokemon cards. She scrolled through emails on camera. Pulled out receipts. Played a voicemail from him saying, "You're the only woman I've ever wanted to build a life with." Someone clipped the sound. It went viral on TikTok as a meme overnight. "You're the only woman," right before someone drops a wedding cake or crashes through a wall. Then came the fallout. Marcus's brokerage firm suspended him. His business partner released a statement saying they were unaware of his personal misconduct. Clients dropped him. One woman in the comments said she'd been dating him too. He told me he was widowed. Another one? He ghosted me last month. I bet I was number 5. Alyssa didn't stop there. She started a podcast, The Almost Wife. First episode? Me and her. Sitting side by side, talking about how it feels to have your heart hijacked and identity manipulated by a man with more aliases than loyalty. I thought I was his beginning, Alyssa said into the mic. Turns out, I was just another ending. And I said, but at least this time he didn't get away with it. The final blow? We filed a joint restraining order, got his accounts frozen. And Renee? She made sure every single woman he'd crossed had a copy of the legal case file. Because Marcus Monroe didn't just get exposed, he got erased. Turns out I wasn't the first woman he fooled. I was just the first one who showed up to the wedding and ended it. People always ask me now, how did you stay so calm? How did you confront him in front of everyone and not fall apart? Truth is, I did fall apart, just not in front of him. I did it afterward, on the bathroom floor at 3 a.m., in the grocery aisle when our favorite coffee was on sale, in my car, outside the courthouse. But I never let him see it, because some men feed on your tears like oxygen. Renee says I made the right call filing first. Alyssa says I gave her a future back. And me? I'm still working through what it means to rebuild a life that was never really mine to begin with. Our house is in my name now. So is my business. I took back everything with my name on it. And I mean everything. The man I married? He was a mirage, an illusion built on charm and convenience. But the woman I became after, she's real. She's fire. And she doesn't ask for closure. She creates it. I got a message last week from Holly Whitman. Remember her? The name on one of Marcus's business filings? She found the podcast. She'd lived with him for nearly a year. He told her I was his ex-wife, and Alyssa was his crazy ex-fiancé. She almost co-signed a loan for him. Almost. Because of what we did, she didn't. You saved me, she wrote. And maybe that's the closure I never saw coming. I don't wear my wedding ring anymore. I don't even keep it in a drawer. I sold it and donated the money to a shelter that helps women escape financial abuse. Because what happened to me, it isn't rare, but it is survivable. These days, I still plan weddings, but now, when I meet a bride who seems too eager, too rushed, too trusting, I ask her one question. Do you know his story? Or just the one he's told you? I was the second wife. And I'm damn proud I stopped him before there was a third. If this story made you feel something, tell us. Drop a comment. Share your truth, because silence protects liars. And your voice might save someone else. Thanks for riding this emotional roller coaster with me. Until next time, stay sharp, stay brave, and never ignore the red flags just because the ribbon is pretty. So, what would you have done? Would you have walked away quietly and grieved in silence? Or would you have grabbed the mic, like I did, and turned heartbreak into a headline? I'm curious. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Tell me your story. Because this space, it's not just for drama. It's for healing too. For standing up. For walking out. For rewriting your own damn ending. And hey, if you made it this far, you might as well hit that subscribe button. It keeps the tea hot, the mic's on, and the community growing. Until next time, protect your peace, trust your gut, and never ignore a hot mic.